welcome to Imperial Advisor episode 12, I want to say. Is that correct? Possibly.
Terrifying.
Maybe not.
Yeah, it could be.
12, it could even be 13. But that doesn't matter.
That's nearly a 24-hour run of this nonsense.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you actually include the episode that went on for about 12 hours straight, before Gen Con, and that doesn't include our interview with Dave Ladroot, which we did a few months ago, and our interview that we did yesterday with Brad Andrus, game designer. And if you haven't checked it out, you should, because it was great, and he's really nice and really interesting. And have a listen.
And one thing you couldn't tell from that interview is how ridiculously tall Brad Andrus is.
Really?
He's ridiculously tall.
He's a very tall man.
I mean,
what are we talking? 6'4"?
I would say possibly even taller. I mean, I saw him a couple of times just at the general melee of Gen Con. And if somebody told me he was like 8'6", I would not be at all surprised.
A giant among men.
Towers. He is. I mean, he's very narrow. He's very thin, but my goodness, he has a commanding view of the surrounding countryside. That's for sure.
If he was running for president in America, I'd give him good odds, because the tallest man usually wins. And yeah,
very tall.
There's no man taller.
Yeah, you hear that, Pat? This is your next stop. Quit FFG now and start your political career.
Yeah. What we're planning is for today is, because we did the interview yesterday, we're going to do kind of maybe a slightly shorter than usual episode, and because there hasn't been a whole bunch of big news, we're going to go through the deck building process from scratch. So last time around, I think it was last time around, we kind of did a bit of a review of one of Owen's decks, but this time we're going to go from scratch. We kind of haven't got like an endpoint predetermined for what this deck will look like. We're just going to work through the process of making the decisions of building a deck. We're going to do it for Scorpion clan, basically, so I don't have to do the work, get everyone to do it for me. And yeah, we'll see where it turns out. And maybe next time around or in the future we'll run through a few games on Tabletop Simulator, but probably won't get to that tonight. So we have 5 Rings DB up and running. We've started with obviously Scorpion, and we're going to run it off Seeker of Air. And I guess what is your sort of opening question when you're building a deck, guys? What's your sort of starting point? Because Justin, you wrote about this a little bit in your article.
Yeah. Usually it's just taking a look at, to be honest, it can be absolutely anything. It can be a card you particularly like or think is powerful. It can be a mechanic that is, that just jumps out at you. There's something that your clan does that another clan, that nobody else really does. So it's, a lot of it is informed by the personality of the person who is building the deck. So, Colm, you're probably the person who should kind of take a look.
How do you want to win the game, Colm?
Do you want to dishonor people out? You're a Scorpion player. You want to dishonor people out, don't you?
I want to dishonor people out, but I also want, because my feeling is like, if you have someone who's actively avoiding being dishonored, you need a backup plan. And you can use the dishonor as a way of keeping them under sort of constant pressure, and starve for cards, and use that to sort of win through taking provinces as well. So I think you need a bit of using dishonor as sort of a pressuring mechanic, and a win condition, but not the only win condition. It's kind of how I would look at it.
Okay.
Now I might argue with that straight off the bat.
Okay.
Oh well, hot takes, Andy.
Hot takes. In the Andy Gordon school of deck design, you go for one thing and you go for it as ham as possible. And if you lose, you lose. But if you win, But if you win, there's probably no deck that can really stop you from doing what you're supposed to be doing.
I would agree with that in most card games. I don't know if L5 War works like that.
Maybe it does.
From the
not
games
for-
I've played.
With the current card pool, I think you will innately have a certain amount of backup plan available to you. Because, hey, you're going to play Scorpion, you're going to have a lot of guys with good politics scores, and politics can go a smashing if necessary, so you can always have that option, particularly if your Pursuit of Dishonor has slapped a chokehold on your opponent's card draw, and he's going ridden one a turn, and you're slowly advantaging him out in terms of cards. You can basically go, right now I'm going to start taking one province a turn nice and slow. This game is not going to play too fast, and I'm going to grind it out. And that's a perfectly acceptable playstyle.
On the flip side, once you actually look at the options you have, I think you've probably got about 60 cards on each side. So the actual viable legal cards that you can put into your deck probably just make up a 60-60. And you can take the 20 worst cards out and then see what you've got left over.
That process of trimming usually happens in any case. Yeah.
One thing I will say, just from games that I've been playing, or just from kind of general playtest experience, it's surprisingly hard to put people away with Dishonor. You can drop people pretty low, but as soon as they start to feel the chokehold, as soon as they start to feel the grip tighten just a little bit, then they can change their play style quite a bit, and even pulling off air once or twice can completely scupper all that Dishonor work.
Yeah.
So I tend to go with Andy here. If you are going Dishonor, I think you have to go Dishonor. You have to go hard for Dishonor. You have to commit to it. But I also think that inherently in the game, you can play a military game, and you then with Scorpion, because Scorpion just has a lot of ways of making you hurt with regards to honor, you can put the squeeze on people. So if I was building Scorpion and just starting off completely from scratch, and from a position of complete ignorance, which I am, I would actually look at a more militarily oriented deck first, and work from there. But it's entirely up to you, Colm.
Yeah.
So,
and one of the strange things is, I think a lot of people are terrified of Scorpion Dishonor right now. So I think typically you're going to see low bids at the very start, and if the Scorpion player starts bidding one or two, that card draw on the opponent's side is probably going to get locked down pretty fast to just drawing one every round, because even opening up a little bit of room for the Scorpion Dishonor deck can be horrific. Which to an extent does give you a certain amount of room to play around with, because if everyone's expecting Scorpion Dishonor, and you're going to have Dishonor cards in there one way or the other.
Another really interesting thing is that hashtag always bid one does not apply against the Scorpion. It could very well be hashtag bid 2 or hashtag bid 3 on turn 1.
Yeah.
Because you want to turn off their stronghold. If you don't turn off their stronghold, they're simply going to use their stronghold and steal an honor from you. So you may as well bid high and turn that honor into cards while you still can.
Yeah.
But there is actually a really strange dynamic at play.
I've been told by a lot of Scorpion players that I should always bid 1. Oh. I see.
Now you get
okay.
it. Now you get it. Yeah, it's one of the really interesting things about the stronghold is how it does affect the initial bidding conditions, certainly on turn 1 as you're setting up.
Yeah.
And how you build expectations as well, how you generate expectations of how you're going to play for the rest of the game. And that's one thing that the Scorpion have actually quite a significant advantage in, is they have huge flexibility in terms of how they bid on turn 1, and they have a catch-up mechanic if they make a mistake. So if they overbid massively, like if a Scorpion player goes, well, I'm going to bid 4 on turn 1, expecting that an opponent being, having thought things through, might consider bidding a 2 or a 3, but their opponent bids a 1. You're losing 3 honor, which would be a serious problem. But the Scorpion player goes, well, I'll just use my stronghold. Next the turns, I'll just gain that honor back. So So yeah, there are a lot of.
Is that not
subtleties,
the other way of Scorpion to play? To just aggressively draw cards and then keep stealing their honor back?
Yeah, absolutely. Just there's no reason not to. I mean, as long as you're confident that you can win enough conflicts to draw the game out and take full advantage of the stronghold ability, then yeah, absolutely. I think it's I'm a big fan of incremental advantage. So and this game is very much about incremental advantage. So yeah, I think it's a perfectly viable way to go. Absolutely. And the Scorpion are very, very good militarily. Very good. So they have some really stunning characters. So so there we go.
Okay. So let's try build a military deck. I mean, I think there's going to be dishonor elements anyway, as you said. And let's see what that looks like. I think that's a starting point. You play some games and you figure out how to change it from there. Right. So, what do you think is the next decision? Do you go provinces? Do you go, what am I going to be splashing? Do you put together your dynasty side? Because that's going to be, that's going to essentially build itself more so than most things.
Well, yeah. Sorry to cut across you there, Justin.
No. Go ahead.
What I would generally do is, if you've decided on a win condition, you look at all cards in the game that say lose X honor, or your opponent loses X honor, and you try and fit as many of these cards in your deck. That makes sense. I would start off by putting them all in there. Honestly.
And then where do we start? Everywhere.
We start with all the cards and we remove from there.
No. Like what conflict cards or what conflict deck cards say lose X honor?
Yeah, I've been party to Andy's deck designs before, as his decks have developed, and yeah, I mean this is a man who will honestly build the deck, or who used an 05 artist who built a deck with 40 fake cards that just killed personalities. Just every single card just killed a personality.
And then a deck with 38 personalities and no holdings. So yeah.
Fate conflict cards that cause honor loss are so it's one really interesting things. Very few of them say directly cause an honor loss. Most of them cause an honor loss through interaction with game mechanics. So ones that will cause an honor loss include Wave the Scorpion, Contingency Plan, Court Games, For Shame, sort of Spies at Court, and Outwit, and technically Rout, but I wouldn't really play Rout. Because all of those can indirectly cause a honor loss through interaction with game mechanics.
Yep, absolutely. And actually, I would start with the Dynasty deck because that does basically build itself. And once we take a look at the Dynasty deck, then we'll have a much clearer idea of kind of where we're strong, where we're weak, and what kind of dynamics we can exploit.
Although just to show what Andy's talking about, we can actually do a search on 5 Rings DB for X honor, and that'll show up any of the ones that have. So you can see, like, we need to get as many assassinations and bonsais and spies at court into our opponent's deck as we can. That would be a good start.
Only we can decide our opponent's decks for them.
In fairness, your opponent's decks will almost certainly contain multiples of all the cards.
Yeah. How they then play them is something that's beyond your control.
Yeah.
If I was playing provinces for this deck, I would go Secret Cache, which is a Scorpion province, which is excellent. And your Seeker of Airs, you get 2 air provinces. So I'd then do Fertile Fields as well. I'd put Entrenched Position under the Stronghold for a tanky difficult to take last province. And then your choices are Meditations at the Tau versus Night Raid, and Shameful Display versus Pilgrimage. And I think I'd go Meditations and I'd go Shameful Display, because Scorpion can leverage Dishonor, and Honor is handy for them as well, because a lot of them are too glory. Or at least
there is an argument to go for Night Raid, because you're getting to discard a few more cards out of your opponent's hand. But it's just a once-off, and any of the once-offs...
And if you're playing a deck that's aiming to control the board as much as Scorpion likely will, then a province with actions is just better.
Well, this is actually something that I'd like to. I'm not sure. I don't have a good stance on this, but I'd like to discuss it anyway. When I look at Dishonor, I see a possible strategy of Dishonor through Earth. So Earth being the one that is going to try and control your opponent's hand size and help your hand size. Anything that discards cards from your opponent's hand is fueling your ability to win the game, because you're forcing them to have to draw in the draw phase if they want to have any sort of flexibility in their hand.
Yep. The counter to that is that it happens once and that it's more than likely going to discard a single card from their hand. Just the way. So again, like, things could be different for other people, but in the games that I've been playing, it's rare enough that, I mean, you will sometimes get an attack with two characters, but it's mainly kind of one character going across and one character defending for the most part.
Fair enough.
So. Whereas
a lot of the time with Night Raid, you end up with a couple of dead cards that you're not going to play anyway, especially as the kind of game progresses. And the few times I've seen Night Raid get hit, it's either early in the game where they've got a decent hand and some options, or it's late in the game where they've managed to build up those kind of poor cards that they're not going to be playing anyway, and then they just get to discard them.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And meditations can be backbreaking.
Okay.
Also.
I think if Night Raid was every time they attacked, it'd be amazing.
Yeah. And we go for entrenched position because Scorpion are already inherently very strong at politics, so they should be able to put up a much stronger fight against someone coming at them politically, whereas they may need the help militarily. So entrenched would go under the stronghold.
You don't necessarily need to make that decision. We have to pick something we're not going to play because there's going to be two heirs.
True. I don't
because I think water.
I don't think either of the waters are particularly strong right
really?
now.
I quite like Elemental Fury. I understand why people would prefer Rally to the Cause to switch conflict types, but being able to switch the ring, especially if they're trying to claw back in air. That said, it does suffer from the exact same problems we were talking about with Night Raid a second ago. It's just a one-off fire, and then it's a blank province the next time. But with this deck, if someone's trying to go for air or trying to go for earth or fire, you can just switch that out, and congratulations, you've just won water. Good job.
So here's the thing: why not go for Shameful Display? What would be not good enough about Shameful Display to put it in there, or to not put it in there, or is it going in?
It's going in.
It's going in.
Oh, okay, I thought it was
province. It's the best province in the game.
Okay. So. I hadn't seen it in there yet, so
it's a good.
I've been playing around with my own preferences, based on my own games. Okay. Yeah, it hurts a little bit to leave out Rally to the Cause. I'm kind of wondering if I'd like that over Meditations on the Tower.
What I like to do is I don't like any free provinces that are completely friendly to attack in your 4 that are in play. I want 4 provinces, each of which is annoying to attack into. Giving somebody a province that they can just swing into is not a good thing, because they can sometimes go, well, actually, I'm not going to break that province. I'm just going to claim a ring off that province with the token attack first thing every turn. And that gives me my ring, and then you have to defend a kind of a nuisance attack to deny me a ring.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
You don't, like, if you put in Elemental Fury, it pops, it has its effect. It can be a big effect, but then it either gets broken or is a free province to go into for the rest of the game. On the other hand, if your 4 provinces out there are Secret Cache, Meditations on the Tau, Shameful Display, and Fertile Fields, there is no good option to attack into. What can happen is early game, if you have 2 ones that are bad to attack into, and let's say someone goes into early and cracks, gets a first turn is often the most dodgy time for defending, manages to get in, smash your Shameful Display or something, and then you're left with basically an Elemental Fury which does nothing, or a Night Rage which does nothing after it's revealed. Your position, like, you've given them soft targets. With that way, you have no soft targets. Each one of those provinces is a bad thing to have to attack into. You can play around Meditations of the Tau a little bit, but if they're playing around it by only sending in people without fate, you're gaining usually a bit in board position. Shameful Display is a tremendous pain to attack into. Secret Cache is, they will go into Secret Cache once and then be like, oh man, I really want to break this. And if they don't break this, they'll consider never going into it again. And like the soft ones there are Fertile Fields, Meditations of the Tau, and Shameful Display and Secret Cache are the really nasty ones. So, that's how I think about it. You want your provinces to be unpleasant to attack into.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think
I agree with Owen.
That aligns a lot with this idea of potentially Scorpion games going on a little bit longer. You're not expecting it to sort of just be crushing through provinces, every single time.
And just on Rally to the Cause, 50% of the time, it's political anyway. Or maybe not 50%, but, they have a choice to make, and a lot of clans will go political as well. And then for a couple of the clans, I guess Phoenix and Dragon primarily, sometimes when you switch it, it doesn't make any difference at all to them. So there's a lot of situations where, again, Rally to the Cause is dead. I think there's a 25% chance, or you'd have to do the numbers properly, but there is a chance it'll have a big effect, but the majority of the time I don't think it will.
All right, so let's go to Dynasty then. So would you start by let's put in everything and remove stuff?
I mean, the card pool really is so small at the moment that you can just put in everything, and then we can just take a look at each individual card, weigh it on its merits, and then kick them in or kick them out.
Literally going to put in everything. So, let's take out, probably start with the neutrals, because we can probably remove a few of those.
Those damn neutrals. What makes a man turn neutral?
Wandering Ronin.
Power. Or was he just born with a neutrality?
I think. Are there any neutrals that you think Scorpion should be playing?
Yes.
No.
They should consider.
Maybe.
So they should consider mine.
We're covering all the bases.
Definitive.
Well, I'm glad I had all you here to really clarify that for me.
They should consider Maya Mystic if they're not Splashing Dragon, because you do need an answer to attachments. Yeah. And you should consider Seeker Initiate if you think Seeker Initiate is a fairly middling card. But if you honor him, he's actually pretty potent. And the other nice thing about him is he has some extra pretty nice card draw when you grab air. And if you're playing Dishonor, you will probably be bidding low, and you will probably be going for air a lot. And you will probably be defending air as well. So having a Seeker Initiate in play and you successfully defend air, hey, you get a card. That's pretty awesome.
And you should consider the Tomo Courtier and the Seppin Guardsman, because for all of their issues, 1 fate for 2 and a stat is pretty good.
You could consider the Seppin Guardsman. I think you have some better cheap courtiers in.
You're kind of doubling down on what you're strong with the Tomo Courtier, especially because you have plenty of courtiers already. But maybe some more courtiers would be good too. I think what we're saying is the Ronin can just get lost.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna
ditch them all to 0 initially. Yeah, I think there are reasons to consider them, but for the time being,
that's a good.
Yeah, for the time being, we'll cut them out.
Okay, so I guess next question, maybe let's look at the holdings. Are an easy thing to sort of tackle. We've got City of Lies, reduces the cost of actions, favorable ground for moving characters to or from conflicts, and Imperial Storehouse for card draw. Which is a quite nice, if we're looking at a sort of bidding one approach. Imperial Storehouse is
Storehouse,
nice.
Yeah, Storehouse is basically a 3 of in almost every deck.
Yeah, really? The card draw is just too important.
Yeah. Especially when you're trying to lock it.
Yeah, card draw is so valuable that you want to have as much as you possibly can.
And you also want to have the flexibility of being able to bid one if you want to pressure your opponent.
Yeah.
I've had limited success with favorable ground. I've seen it be used to some effect by other people, but it is situational. For me.
Yeah. I found it pretty good in Dragon, where there's big use.
You just went super quiet there, Baz.
Yeah, Baz just went quiet.
Carry on. I wasn't saying anything important anyway.
It's useful in Dragon.
I would cut City of Lies and then revisit it after you've built your conflict deck.
Yeah, really?
For sure.
Interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
City of Lies is a little bit of a marginal card in some ways. We'll talk about why it's difficult to use, maybe, but it's only if you've got a really expensive fate side would I rely on it, because it's a bit awkward to use. And I would consider 2 favorable ground, and I wouldn't go much above 5 or 6 holdings anyway.
That's actually a question I was going to ask, because deck construction in Old L5R I'm pretty savvy with, but new 5R I've never really built a successful deck, not in a 3-core environment for sure. So I've no idea what the proportion of characters holdings should be.
Like Owen was saying, I think 5 to 6 holdings is more than fine. I'm running 6 in my Phoenix at the moment, and it can occasionally cause minor issues. But generally, with the way that, even if generally if you flip 2 characters in provinces on a turn, you'll be able to quite happily spend your fate effectively for that turn anyway. So
okay.
It kind of depends how you're making things.
Crab, absolutely. Yeah, Crab absolutely have reason to play more. They're encouraged to. Which brings up a whole bunch of really interesting questions about how Crab build decks. But certainly, I think you can go 3 Storehouse without question, without hesitation. After that, I'd be kind of with you, Colm. I've found that the Venn diagram intersection of where favorable ground shows up and where favorable ground is good is actually pretty narrow. Yeah. So it can be a giant. I mean, if it shows up right turn, it can be a right kick in the pants for your opponent or you, depending on who's got it. But it's an inconsistent card for me.
Yeah. And then I guess you're sort of looking at what is our worst personality, or if we're keeping 3 of most things, we almost need to lose 1 personality, and then there may be something we want to drop down to 2 ofs, or 1 ofs. So
yeah, maybe go through them one at a time.
Okay, so we've got Bayushi Liar, a zip 3 with sincerity.
Jaw-dropping
for 1 cost.
Personality.
Yeah.
Jaw-dropping personality, my god.
Very like the Phoenix Naive Student, but better.
Only better. Yeah, in every single way.
Well, in one.
Except for glory.
Yeah, which is more a penalty for Phoenix at the moment than it is an advantage. But yeah, except for glory.
The Bayushi Manipulator, a 1/1/1 for 1 courtier. After honor dials are revealed, increase the value of your bid by 1.
So I can't imagine you're going to use the ability, but it is a 1/1/1/1 courtier, so that's something.
Yeah.
Not really. 1/1 is generally worse than a -2.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Okay.
I like the 1/1s.
Would be high on my cut list. Sorry.
I like the 1/1s just because they are additional flexibility, and for say 2 fate, you get a lot of additional flexibility on a guy. Just because, especially if you can grab the favor, even a guy like that, having a cheap guy available is a headache for your opponent, particularly kind of later in the game. And he's not worth an assassination. Now you want to tempt out an assassination, but he's not worth an assassination, and he will often sit there for. You can easily get 2 turns out of maybe 3 turns. He's not very good, but he hangs around for ages. So
this is the thing that I'm not so sure about. Like, why would you invest so much in this character? I'm not sure why you would have him sitting around for 2 or 3 turns.
Because he's just there, and you've got a slightly spiraling board presence of that. So what you do is, if you've got, let's say you took +1, you took guard the favor and take +1 politics, you can attack with that guy on a throwaway attack, and your opponent has to defend with 3 strength.
Yeah, okay.
And
Fair
that,
enough.
okay, what am I going to do? And you're like, oh, even if you bow him, because you've got the favor, he's still got 1 strength. So you have to defend with 2 and bow him to stop him. So it's a headache for your opponent.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
cheap
That's fair.
guys on the board give you extra options, particularly a guy who, like, you pay 2 for him, you put a fade on him. He's there for 2 turns doing stuff and just being awkward.
But would he be better off being a Tomo courtier or a Seppin guardsman? I mean, you're not going to put you're not going to put any fate on him. You're going to buy him for 1. And is that 1 military or 1 political actually going to contribute? Would you actually be better off not spending that 1 and holding on for the next turn? I mean, for me, I'd almost prefer the fact that he's got the courtier trait above everything, because it lets you use a couple of abilities that are kind of key. But
yeah. I suppose the other thing to consider is he's also potentially a couple of extra fate cards or conflict cards. If you are both bidding low and you think that you can sustain the honor loss, which with your stronghold you probably can. So maybe he's okay. Certainly, for me, he'd be high on the list of potential cuts because he's not hugely impactful. But what Owen's saying is absolutely completely worth bearing in mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a game with a curve, but having some low fate options is always good. I found for sort of filling out your turn.
Does the list have Bayushi Lyre in it? Are you set on Bayushi Lyre? Because I feel like if you're going to run 3/1 odds or 3/1 costs, then that would probably be my 3/1 costs.
Yeah, well, no, Bayushi Lyre is just vastly superior.
Yeah,
I don't think they compete.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
we're not trying to
or anything.
Yeah.
I would be looking at cutting a 3-coster rather than cutting a 1-coster.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, we can.
I don't know the 3-coster.
Yeah, let's
come back to it.
I think we can safely say Bayushi Shouju is a 3-of.
I don't know.
No.
It depends. In a more fighty deck, he's absolutely 3-of.
Okay.
He's a 3-of in every deck anyway.
Bayushi Yanako, also really good.
3-of.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blackmail artist. After you win a political conflict, take 1 honor for your opponent. Really good. I found.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This guy is a bastard.
Yeah. He's one of the few ways you can force honor loss on your opponents.
I mean, he forces your opponent to defend. Your opponent has to defend against this guy, or else they are losing 2 honor.
Yep.
Yeah, crushing. He's really, really
brutal. And he makes send home effects just the worst things. He can put so much pressure on people, and he forces defense. And yeah, he's amazing.
So we're saying 3-of then, yeah.
Yeah. Favored niece. Choosing discard 1 card from your hand, draw 1 card. Cycling cards at 2/2 for 3.
expensive. That's the only thing I'd say for her. Really good ability, but
I don't know,
she is kind of expensive.
Getting all those cards, you could easily deck yourself and lose 5 honor. I mean, is drawing cards a good thing? I'm not so sure.
What? What?
She enables you to play slightly questionable cards in the conflict deck or slightly narrow cards in the conflict deck, and just get rid of them. She's really good.
Yeah,
she has a lot of line, but
even if you're buying her for a single turn, you are potentially getting 2 cards off her.
Yeah.
So
and you'll always have some cards.
You're cycling 2 cards, and I mean she's a 3-of.
Yeah,
really a 3-of.
Yeah.
Even with those shitty stats and that high cost.
Yeah, look at that glory. Ugh, 2. That's so high.
But this, it's just the way. Honestly, Andy, I wouldn't have really believed the extent to which you can throw out so much, kind of established wisdom with regard to card games when it comes to 5 rings. But this game is definitely strange.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, Shishiro Actress. The 1/3/1 for 3 cost. Not amazing stats again, but does have 3. During conflict, sacrifice this character. Choose a non-shinobi with printed cost 3 or lower in your opponent's discard pile and put that character into play in the conflict under your control.
I don't know. If your opponent doesn't play any good characters, she's pretty crap.
Yeah, I really dislike this card.
She's fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you talk? She's amazing. She's
3 costs.
outrageous.
She attacks or defends, Andy.
Yeah.
In political.
Avowed and brings you another guy into play in the next conflict.
So say that I missed part of that.
So you go, I buy Shishiro Actress, I put no faith in her.
Yeah.
I attack with her. I
politics.
do my stuff, right? Then she's at home. Next conflict that I need a guy, I pop her, I look through your discard pile, and I play a guy.
Oh, she can do that while bowed.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And at home.
Jesus.
That's gold down 5 horses.
Yeah, there you go again. That's
And there are some fantastic cards you can fetch. Like you can ones with abilities. Some of the better ones have been robbing the crab guys that you can sack at the end of it. So
yeah. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, grab yourself a Lion's Pride Brawler or a Doji Challenger and just feel like the best person ever.
I stand corrected.
We're beginning to run into a problem, and we're trying to cut some cards. And
yeah, this is a problem with Scorpion. All their cards are amazing.
All right, Chihiro Miyako, Bayushi Shinobi.
You can cut her. She's just not there yet.
But I mean, she fits perfectly what we're talking about. She's got a card discard mechanic. Why doesn't she make the cut? Her stats are better than the favorite niece.
They are, but her reaction is very situational to trigger, and she's got not a huge amount of board presence. She's not undercosted for those stats at all. Her stats are to the weaker side of
for her ability, you just need to drop to play a character from hand, and you've got that character that can keep coming back over and over again.
Add up to Shadows.
So why doesn't that make the cut?
Because Add Up to Shadows is super expensive, and I'm not sure you want to be playing it all the time.
Right? The problem is that the unassuming Yojimbo is incredibly expensive. If there was a 1-cost Scorpion conflict person, I'd be like, absolutely. So you end up going, I've got 3 Adeptus Shadows, okay, and then I have to bring in 3 other conflict characters from another clan in my splash. Yeah. And not every clan is suitable for that. She is going to be good, but she is not good yet. So you cut her for the moment.
So the problem is... The problem is drawing those cards and the amount of fate that you'd have to invest just to activate her ability.
Yeah. So
makes sense.
Basically, there are just huge opportunity costs involved in her ability at the moment, and it just isn't there.
And anyway, there are no shinobi, so we'll cut her.
Exactly. I mean, situationally, she can be great, but you're looking for consistency wherever possible, especially in the early days. So, especially all the time, but she just doesn't do enough right now. So, she is certainly cuttable.
But also not a courtier, which is just rude.
Yeah.
John says. Okay,
Indeed.
Sinister Soshi, a Shugenja heir.
Worst stats ever.
Zip, 0 glory for 1.
She's probably the worst, right?
Bananas.
No, she's one of their best cards.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I'm so shit at this game. I'm so shit at reading cards in this game.
It's the ability. You need to keep reading. That's the only problem. Just
-2, -2. Yeah, I mean that seems pretty strong. But I mean, I feel like the fact that she can never. I guess she's 1 cost, so it's fair enough. She kind of just stumps everything, right?
Also, you have to remember that how Shoju works as well.
Oh yeah. He's the one that discards people if they go down to 0, right? 0 political.
Yeah, and the big thing with her is when you've got one facing against the table, you're declaring your attack, and you're like, all right, well, Sinister Shoshi is going to reduce this by -2, -2, so I need to add 2 or 3 more guys in. You do that, and then they don't use it. and then the next conflict, which you didn't account for. So you have to factor in her ability in every one of your conflicts, all 4 conflicts.
I see.
Because it's going to be the worst one that you haven't planned for.
Fair enough. Jesus, I'm bad at this game.
Sushi illusionist.
Assassination target.
3. Now, she is a Shigenja.
It feels great to cloud her mind. Yeah.
Spend a fate, choose a character, discard a status token from that character. So
Pretty decent.
Okay, I have a question on this one. What is the status token?
honored, dishonored being
I see. Okay.
being the common ones.
I see.
She's got good stats. She's a 1-3 for 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is super true.
Yeah, fair enough.
Now, this pushes us up to 6 Shigenja. Is that enough to start looking at Shigenja cards?
And we've also got the Yogo Outcast, that's 9. And if we're playing as we should be, the Adept of Shadows. No, Adept of Shadows isn't the Shigenja. So that's 9.
Maya Mystic.
You can consider Maya Mystic. Maya Mystic is a relatively poor card that serves an important meta function. So.
Okay, we'll look at it when we get to the Shigenja cards, but they're an option now at least.
Yeah.
Right. Who's next? There must be a bad card that we could cut. All right. Who's next?
We've cut Miyaka, so you've also got Yoga Harue, our Garden of Lies hero.
Right.
Hopefully,
can't cut her away.
Can't cut her away.
No.
Just amazing.
Yeah. Yogo Outcast.
The Outcast is in this deck is probably fine. In other decks is a bit marginal, but in this deck is probably fine.
So we are planning to be less honorable. We're going to draw more cards. We're not pressuring Dishonor.
Yeah.
We might pressure Dishonor. Who knows?
We might. Yeah. You could have the Yogo Outcast in for sure.
Okay, and Young Rumormonger, the 2/2 for 2. When a character would be honored, dishonored, redirect that essentially to the same player.
Is that good? I don't.
Yeah, it's reasonably good. You dishonor yourself for some of your abilities, for some of your conflict cards. It's not amazing, but it's useful.
So
he's a 2/2, so he's decent stats. Yeah. Then his ability can depending on what you have, can occasionally be right. I'm going to use this action. I would really rather they had to dishonor that person instead of that person if they dishonored. So let's say that person's getting dishonored, and that can be big because some clans have a spread of 0 glory people and some high glory people. So you can be like, actually, let's dishonor that other guy instead, and that's significant. So
notably, it turns court games into a targeted dishonor. You get to pick exactly who they dishonor. Well, they dishonor someone, and then you redirect it. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting interactions. It stops them from honoring their highest personal honor guy. It stops them from re-honoring a dishonored guy. There's lots of little tricks that you can do with it. One of the bigger ones is there is one card that we'll get to eventually where you need to dishonor one of your courtiers.
Yeah.
It has been ruled that if you redirect the dishonor effect to someone else, like one of your Shigenja, the effects are still considered to have been completed. So that frees up your courtier to be dishonored again.
And in practice, if he's a great card if your opponent forgets he's on the table. That has proven useful to me in the past. Of people forget that they dishonor one of your guys that does have a bit of glory, and you go, no, it just goes onto a 0 glory guy, and that's a wasted card.
Okay, now we have a dilemma. We're at 39 cards. So we have to add 1.
City of Lies?
I think City of Lies...
Or you could throw in a 1 Seeker of Air. You could send someone down to a 2 and bring that one up to a 2 if you wanted. I don't have any super strong opinions there about what to do. I'd throw in 1 copy of something you might like to see. So that could be City of Lies, could be My Mystic, could be Seeker Initiate, could be Favorable Ground.
Yeah, I think for a lot of those, we really need to see what the rest of the conflict deck is going to look like. Like if we're going to play some Shigenja-based stuff,
we can revisit this. I think is way to do it. Okay. So, do you think we need to determine our splash plan at this point?
No, not yet.
No. Okay. So let's. I mean, there's not a ton, so we can go down again. We may end up with a few more, a few less. Adept of Shadows,
3 of.
Ambush.
It's 0.
Good. You think 0? Do you?
I think 0.
Ambush is too difficult to get value from.
Yeah.
It is one of those cards that I'm a real value player in all card games, frankly, and I have spent a lot of time trying to engineer perfect situations to play this card, and it is good, but probably not the cost of engineering those situations. But my instinct is maybe a 1 of, but let's see if it's 0 for now.
I feel like at 3 fate cost, you're also pretty much telegraphing it every time you're going to want to set it up and play it. Because
it's telegraphed, but the value of getting 6 cost on the table, or up to 6 cost, usually ends up being 4 or 5.
You're kind of gaining 2 or 3 for just that one turn, but it's costing you a card to do so.
But
you can also discount it with City of Lies or something like that as well. But let's save it 0 and see.
Yeah.
Assassination. 3 of. Banzai. 3 of.
Yep.
3. Yeah.
Blackmail. Also expensive, which makes me wonder: do you drop one?
Leave it off for the moment. Blackmail is incredibly expensive. It's got a huge effect.
Yeah.
It's not a 3 of. It might be a 2 of, but it's incredibly expensive.
3 is very expensive.
So
powerful effect.
The argument against it is that it should be making you tea, doing the dishes. It needs to deliver a lot for what it costs.
I mean, it's almost always winning a conflict.
But it needs is that enough? It probably needs to be destroying a province.
Yeah.
It can do that.
Just winning a conflict may not be enough.
Yeah. I mean, it may also win or destroy a province as well. But okay, calling in favors. I think that's probably 3 of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'd say so.
Charge 0. I'd say.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah, but 0.
Yeah, there's a lot of more of a political focus going on, and there are times when.
Yeah, I mean, I just know from even single cores, it probably is better in 3 core than in 1 core, but it just didn't quite make the cut. Cloud the Mind. I mean,
no, go ahead.
We're getting to that. Do we have are we above the threshold of Shigenja to play Cloud the Mind? Because obviously, it's a very strong card.
You've got 9 Shigenja?
Is 9?
Or 12? Is it 9 or 12?
We most certainly are. Like, Dragon can consistently play it with just 6. So, 2 or 3, I think is the real question.
I'll go 2, but
2 sounds good.
Okay.
2 for now sounds good. Yeah.
Contingency plan. I feel maybe underrated. I have not played with it. But I think, and a lot of people find this, that there are a lot of games where you think, if I had a contingency plan, I could have just got that 1 extra honor off my opponent to win a game, or so I'm kind of always wondering, I do feel at some point I need to play around with it a bit. Probably in a pure dishonor deck.
It's card cycle, or it's direct 1 honor loss, right?
Yeah, but it's terribly card disadvantageous, because you were down that card you played, and you were down the card you didn't draw. So it gets you an honor off them, which might be otherwise impossible, but that's basically that's all it does.
It doesn't alter your reveal or your dial so that you draw an extra card or draw one
It
less.
can, but
Yeah.
So
But
it actually modifies the value rather than altering the dial. Your dial stays the exact same, which is actually important for some of our other cards we look at later.
Okay,
But
okay.
so a lot of time, the primary use for this is actually to bid 1 and then play contingency plan to go down to 0. So your opponent's being really conservative and they bid 1 as well because they're at 1 honor, and you've managed to bid 0 magically and they've just lost that last honor.
It's not worth it then. If this can't cycle itself for a card, then it wouldn't be worth it.
It can cycle itself because you can just increase your bid by 1, but essentially what you're paying is you're paying a card and 1 honor for a card.
Now,
So there is. Sorry. But you do have you do have favored niece as well, so you can.
And you do have your
actually
strongholds. So I mean,
Yep.
yeah.
So
one of the suggestions is that this card is actually better for Phoenix or Crab, who have more aggressive card draw. So the Funeral Pyre and the Library both are really consistent extra card draw, and you can afford to lose that card draw. I'm not sure the same is true of Scorpion.
Also, as a Phoenix player, that's a complete lie. You need every single card that you get. So.
Okay, so we'll leave it off for now. Court games.
I think so. I think if you were playing a super dedicated burn them down Dishonor deck, I think you would absolutely consider this card. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think as you said, just getting that last point or two of honor can be really hard, and it could be good for that.
Yeah, and as John rightly points out, the play window for it, as just says in chat, the play window for it means that if you draw it as your 1 card in a turn, you can't play it for an entire turn.
Yeah.
So there is a delayed effect on it as well. So it's.
Okay.
I'm not saying Phoenix are bad, but
it might actually end up as a fun dueling card for any of the dueling clans.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's for the future.
Okay, court games. I've already put 3 of in.
Yep.
It is great.
Seems legit.
Court Mask, also great value.
Very, very, very good value.
Great value.
Yeah.
Fallen in Battle, I have already ripped up and thrown in the bin.
Very good. Very good.
I'm not so sure about this.
What?
Actually, it's not. Sorry, it's not so. It's not good in. It's not nearly as good in Scorpion. I'm just going to say that straight up. But Fallen in Battle out of Crane.
Oh god, that could be awful. Jesus, that could be awful.
It could. Yeah, absolutely, it could, because they can use their filthy doji challenger to bring in bring in your bowed champion and then murder your bowed champion.
But hold on. Scorpion can do that too.
Except Heroway is 0 military, so you have to have some ungodly commitment to that particular conflict to pull it off, and that's the reason they're not as strong. I mean, potentially you could have Heroway and Yanako. Then you could use Yanako to switch Heroway stats, and it's madness.
Or you could ambush as well, and play a bunch of
this is all coming together.
It's the combo. It's the god combo.
That only costs 4 fate.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily tear up Fallen in Battle quite yet, because if we start to see more Harpoon, that card is going to get better and better and better to the point of potentially being really unfair.
But you can't Harpoon.
But no good. But
else you won't win by 5.
Yeah, absolutely. No good in Scorpion, but it's not a terrible card. Not a terrible card.
Okay, Fiery Madness 3.
Yeah.
Fine Katana 3.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Certainly 2, I think. Put it 2 for the moment.
Yeah, we might revisit it. I think it's a great card in every deck, but sometimes you just look at it and you go, I need to make room.
Okay, For Shame 3.
3. Yep.
Forged Edict 3.
3.
Good Omen.
John.
No.
Yeah. It's one of those cards that always looks like, maybe, but just doesn't quite make the cut.
I think it's a fantastic card, but you just can't judge what your opponent's going to do. Like I was playing a game earlier today, and on turn 1 we both bid 2. On turn 2 we both bid 1, and on turn 3 we both bid 3. Like, there's nothing you can do sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, just against that, I would say that we are missing the obvious combos here with contingency plan. So
it doesn't alter the bid, though.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't it alter the bid? Oh, this game is horseshit. This is ridiculous.
Yes, I'm not the only one who gets card interactions wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Anyway, Good Omen was already 0. It's definitely a 0 now.
Yeah. I can swim.
Oh, I think 2.
Yeah.
I hugely overrated this card. I thought it was really, really good, and then you play it and realize, actually, no, it's really, really bad.
You also
No!
need
It takes so much setup.
Like,
oh
it does take a lot of
Actually,
setup, but sometimes you just need to kill someone. And
you're
this
not
is the card that does.
unless you set it up, you're not gonna. I just don't know. Two fate for that with that amount of setup. Oh, ugh.
Yeah,
I don't know.
like Dave was saying in chat, you'll put in 2 and you'll end up cutting them. And I'm the same. Like when I saw it originally, I thought actually the setup here is perfectly reasonable. Scorpion have all the tools. This will be amazing. And then you play it and just go, no, it's not that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is a card that will come in and out as the meta changes, and there are problem decks that you need to problem characters that you need to deal with.
Yeah, it lacks the consistency that I'd frankly rather find katanas or need fans a lot most of the time.
Yeah.
Just because you're always going to find a use for them.
Noble Sacrifice at a Crane requires way more setup and is actually just a better card.
I'm not sure it requires way more setup. It
does require way more setup.
It's just one shameful display and you're good to go.
Well, this is true, but you can't rely on that either.
Yeah.
I Can Swim, like, it looks so good and then just doesn't deliver.
Would it be worth it if it wasn't 2? If it was 0?
No.
What?
And if it's 0, yeah, maybe. Okay, because I still don't know. You still have to support it with doing some sort of manipulation, I think, to what your honor dial is doing. Because if you're always bidding 1, your opponent's always bidding 1. Or if you're it's so situational.
The dial thing just means, and especially, I don't know how we're going to go with this, but your honor dial. Like, are we going to be able to consistently keep it high? Because one of the problems is in a lot of the matchups that I've seen so far, everyone just locks in at 1 and no one budges from 1 because 2 is just ridiculously high. But if this deck is going to be bidding 3, 4, 5, and then trying to claw back the honor rather than pressuring for this honor, they might actually have a chance of getting that high honor dial.
All right. So what turn are you going to play this on?
I'm putting it to 0. I think for the way I want to play this, it's not for me.
Turn 3.
This is a turn. Yeah, okay, a turn 3 card, and then you're kind of telegraphing it because you have to keep fate open.
I'm convinced.
It can be considerably. It can be considerably soon. It can be sooner. It can be turn 2, but
yeah.
I love the effect, but yeah, you guys are right.
Okay, so what you can do with it, here's the way you can play with it, is go, right, we're both bidding 1. I, through playing Assassinations and Bonsais, have slipped down an honor. They bid 1. I bid 2. I weigh the Scorpion, the guy I need to kill, and I can swim him. And that's actually really rather nasty. It's difficult, but you can do it. Because you can go, I bid 2. I've gone below you because I played Assassinations and Bonsais, and I steal it back to the stronghold. And you can do that. But it requires a lot of trying to do that. And there will be games where you're like, oh, no, didn't again. Raspberries.
Yeah, and if your opponent is trying to take out your options and take out a leg from underneath you, they just bid 2 or 3, and then if it's equal or higher, then you're fucked.
They'll hard lock into bidding 1.
Yeah. But that's so difficult though. You have to have them under military pressure, under dishonor pressure. You're winning that game already, I would say, if you've got them under that much pressure.
And I honestly think that there are a couple of clans that are going to try to get you into that 1 lock, even if they've got no intention of dishonoring you out. Like, if a couple of clans can get a decent card draw engine going, it's in their interest to lock everyone in on those 1s.
I guess we should move on. If we Colm has already said
we're at
zero,
I've cut it. Ornate fan. I mean, it's the mirror.
I think it's two again.
Okay.
And we'll revisit this one to go along with Fight Fan, Ornate Fan, and Fly the Mind.
Outwit. I think that's a 3.
I think it would be a 3. It seems good. I mean, but I've been so shit at assessing cards so far.
Have a quick look through the characters, because sometimes you find that you don't actually have the skill that you need for it.
I think you've got reduction. You've got political reduction in a bunch of places.
Yeah,
You've got high politics all over.
You've got Brophy Liar as a 3.
You've got a bunch of 3s. 4.
Yeah.
He's amazing with it.
3. You've got Hiroe who's a 4. You got Choju who's a 7. You should be.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a 3. Yes, wow, I got one right.
Rouse,
John says you're wrong.
Fuck. He says 2. Okay, two's basically 3.
Rouse doesn't make the cut, I think.
No,
you're not playing with Bushi, right?
Well, I'm not sufficiently high force Bushi.
Yeah.
And Spies at Court, after you win political, dishonor a friendly participating character, discard 2 of your opponent's cards at random.
It is really
That seems crushing.
It is really good.
So
I don't know if it's 3.
There is an argument over it, because some people contend that you're playing 1 card to get rid of 2. So really, you're only going to be up 1 card, and before you get to play it, this card sits in your hand, essentially putting you down 1 card for the preceding conflict. But yeah, I mean, if you can start winning those conflicts and drop these, especially if you're getting into a tight hand lock, it can be crippling.
It's 2 at random. That's my count of that one.
It is 2 at random, yeah.
That tilts people.
It's at its very base nature, it's card advantage, right? You play 1, you get 2.
Yes and no. It's card advantage after you play it, but it's card disadvantage before you play it. If that makes sense.
No.
It's sitting in your hand and it's useless until you win. And when you're winning. That's great. So this is a win more card.
So John would like us to mention why Send Home is bad 80% of the time and amazing 20% of the time. All right, so Send Home is poorish in this game, because when you send home a personality from a conflict, they are probably going to be around. They are around and available for every conflict that exists after this.
Yeah.
So it's at its strongest in the final conflict.
Yeah.
Other reasons why it's good is if it gets rid of presence, hey, that's an additional honor loss. If that province is now undefended during resolution. So that's what's good about it. And occasionally, most people as well can use their actions from home. But there are a couple of people who need to be in the conflict to use their actions. So Send Home can be good for that reason. But a lot of the time, Send Home doesn't really grant you a lot of it. It might grant you an advantage in the battle, but doesn't give you an advantage in the turn, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So what we're saying is 20% of the time it works 100% of the time?
20% of the time it probably wins you the game. Is what it comes down to.
Yeah, if you played all in the last province.
I go in air, let's say militarily, and someone defends with someone who can stop you, and you go grand, I will use my politics to send you home without wit, and now I take 2 honor off you, and that can be the game. I won games to routing people home in thing just because route, and they're like, oh, that's 2 honor loss now, and I'm like, yep. So 2 honors, and that's kind of huge. And there are less politics pumps than there are military pumps. So if you're playing towards an outwit, people can often do a lot less about it than they can do against a rout. Against a rout, they can go, well, I'll bonsai, so you can't rout me. But you have less options for dealing with outwit.
So yeah, one that comes to mind immediately is any crab personality with Watch Commander. If you can get that guy out of the battle, it makes a massive difference. Or when Unicorn are attacking into you with a Warrior Poet that's about to give all of your guys -1/-1, you can play outwit as the first action and get them out. Yeah, there's a bundle of occasions where getting rid of someone. I mean, you prefer to kill them, murder them to death, but
okay. So we were talking about Spies at Court. I mean, it's good. I just don't know if it's great, if it's going to quite make the cut. I can see we're up to 36 cards now. We haven't.
I think it's infinitely cuttable, but Yeah, if something else is better, then and easily something else that's more proactive could be better. I would concede that this is a bit of a win more card, but it can be so crippling, and I would say it could really further your dishonor win condition if you want to go that way.
Well, one of the things about this game is that the idea, again, like the idea of win more, doesn't really apply to this in the way that it used to, because you can't snowball positions in the same way that you used to be able to, and very, very frequently. Like I found this on the giving and receiving end of games where I've been either ahead by quite a considerable margin one turn or behind by quite a considerable margin, you know, within a turn that can completely switch around. Like your characters leave the board, a conflict goes badly, and all of a sudden your board position collapses. And all of a sudden, you know, a game where you are ahead, you are very suddenly behind. And the game ebbs and flows like that, and can ebb and flow like that multiple times before the whole thing is decided. So
it feels like you're slowly reaching a point. I'm not sure where you're going yet, though.
Yeah. So no, sorry. Yeah. Ebb and flow. So cards like Spies at Court actually allow you to just push your advantage just that little bit more. So your opponent has to do just that bit more to swing it back again.
Yeah.
So it's so you're swinging, like there will be turns in the game where you have the advantage. There just will be. Spies at Court gives you an opportunity to push your advantage just that little bit further when you are ahead. So it's
one of the nice things for it with Scorpion as well is Scorpion are very strong in the political conflicts, stronger than pretty much any other clan, I think. This means they are going to be able to win a lot of their political conflicts. And when they play Spies at Court, the cards it discards are probably going to be military cards, which actually makes it a little bit easier for them to compete in a military conflict the next time around. I'm not sure whether it gets played or not. I can certainly see the argument for it in Scorpion more than in any other clan, I think.
If your opponent is deciding to go, I'm going to hashtag always bid one, and they go first turn, they have 5 cards, you have 5 cards, you go into them, you win Earth, and you go Spies at Court. He is in a proverbial tight spot.
Yeah, if he has played anything in that turn, he's
because
fucked.
he now lost 3 cards from hand.
Yeah.
And if that happens, he suddenly is in a situation where, am I going to live off these like 1 or 2 cards I've left in my hand, or am I going to start increasing my honor bid? And he may have to increase his honor bid next turn, and hey, then the honor starts rolling in, and he can't do that again. Or he will find it very difficult to do that again. So there are a lot of upsides to the card. There are issues with it. It can stick in your hand a bit, absolutely, but should stick in your hand least for Scorpion, because at any given point, they should be able to win a political conflict.
Good point from John as well, tending to use it on the defense, so you can mount an attack just after you defend and win a political conflict. You can mount your attack. They have 2 less cards in hand, 2 less options to defend with. This could be pretty crushing.
Yeah, okay, let's try it out. Let's say yes.
Yeah. So we'll go at 2, and then we can start cutting.
Yeah,
pretty soon.
I've done.
Yeah,
okay.
I think 2 is solid.
Unassuming Yojimbo, a 3/1 character for 3 with covert.
He's a 3, right? Please say he's a 3.
So
He's very
expensive.
He's really good. He is really good. The covert is monstrous.
Covert's broken, right? Just
It's not broken, but it's very, very strong.
But he's very
strong.
expensive at 3.
So I see. Like if this guy was a conflict character, would he get played? Or sorry, if he was a dynasty character, yeah.
If he was a dynasty character,
he probably
3/1
would.
covert for 3. Yeah, I think he probably would get played.
Then
But
why are we
that's
hesitating here? Because as a conflict character, he's better.
Because with your fate,
Because
you don't know.
Yeah.
Some turns you don't know what's going to be in your fate hand before you draw your card, so you haven't structured your fate spend around that. So he can come out. Next turn he's going to pop in. Not this turn. Now his surprise value is immense. That covert on the board immediately can be a blowout. His problem is it is a lot of fate to sit on. And if you look at Scorpion's other cards, you'll see a lot of ones. Other clans can go, I'm going to play just free cards and be fine, paying for the odd expensive guy. But even us, where we're trying to minimize, we've still got a lot of 1s and 2s in there. And Scorpion, one of Scorpion's weaknesses appears to be that they don't have a lot of extra fate generation. That they do not have cards to generate extra fate. Other clans do. And Scorpion really don't have that. So
we're looking at 15 cards already that cost 1 or more. That's before the
One of the other issues that makes him worse is that there's significantly more pressure on your basically on the card slots available in your conflict deck than there are in your dynasty. Because even taking a look at Dynasty, we had literally a couple of 2 or 3 pretty simple choices to make, and that was it, done. We're at how many cards in the conflict now? We're probably
I just added
40,
in 3 Way of
34?
the Scorpion, so we're at 41 without
41.
splashing.
Okay.
So we're already at 41. We haven't
And that's-
included a splash.
And that's
Other
before
cards
the
to look at.
unassuming, yeah.
And that's before the unit is even considered. So it's and again, as Owen says, if you draw them on a turn, you're probably going to have to wait another turn completely before you can play him because you haven't kept 4 fate or 3 fate back, because that very rarely happens. And because he also costs 3, you really, really don't want to play him without an additional fate to try and maximize the value you're getting from him. So really, he's a character that costs 4.
I think if you're playing him, you're playing 3 ambush as well.
Yeah, and
Jesus, and then that's 6. That's your entire turn, basically.
Then you were. Well, no, you're not, because you
No,
can
because
ambush
ambush pays for him.
Oh, sorry, you ambush pay
Yeah.
3 to get him. Oh,
But
okay, sorry, that's what you
but
mean.
at that point, you're starting to. At that point,
But
you're
part
starting
of the problem is that
you're justifying bad cards with more bad cards.
Yeah.
well, the other issue is that ambush happens during a conflict, so he doesn't get to take advantage of his covert.
Absolutely.
That's the big issue.
It's a
Okay,
non-bow.
so he has not made the cut. Way of the Scorpion has made 3 of in the cut. So I guess we splash and then we cut down to 40.
yeah.
So what are the options for
so-
splash? I've been playing Dragon in single core.
Do you want the fast option, which is probably the correct option, or do you
No,
want
give us. Let's go through all the options, because I think it's important we understand what's there.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so Crane gives us a couple of different things. Now, the main thing Crane gives you actually is access to 2 good conflict courtiers. And shortage of courtiers is not one of Scorpion's problems. What do other options in Crane? We have Above Question, which is actually pretty good, but Scorpion care more about getting rid of your guys than hanging on to their guys.
Yeah.
Duelist Training is for people who are strong in military, and Scorpion are not that. Height of Fashion has some value, but again, more for a clan that's actually kind of weak at politics. Perfect Gift is not a good card to my mind. Voice of Honor you could potentially use, but probably not. Admit Defeat has some utility, in that it is basically bows a lone defender. And Noble Sacrifice, if you are really fortunate with your Shameful displays, you might get some value out of. I don't rate Crane much for Scorpion because they sit in too similar a space to Scorpion in what terms of their strengths, and a lot of the time you want to shore up your weaknesses with your conflict splash.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Agreed.
Crab.
Who's next?
Crab.
So basically for Crab you have Reprieve, which is very, very solid in terms of keeping your guy around a bit longer. You've got Levy, which is a very interesting focused honor loss card. A bit tough to pull off, but good. You've got the Jade Tsubo, which is not for you. You've got Rebuild, again, not for you. There is Stoic Gunso, which is excellent. Allows you to turn your bowed courtiers into more military strength. So if you want a pinch hitter, Stoic Gunso is really good. The Haruma Ambusher is useful. Good conflict character. Good if you're defending a lot. has some value. Watch Commander is probably the highest value card for Scorpion because it is a nice stat pump and it's potentially a crippling amount of honor loss.
Yeah.
It puts a surcharge on every a card played for your opponent, which is actually brutal. And really importantly, Watch Commander is not events. It is every time an opponent plays a card. So that includes attachments. And sometimes Scorpion hits trouble where they have a counter spell, so they can counter a key action, but they can't counter people putting on attachments. They have to do calling in favors for that. So Watch Commander puts a surcharge and someone dropping a bunch of attachments into a final conflict. Which is quite good.
If you were going to go with a Dishonor focused deck, would Crab be the option, do you think?
Crab would be a very strong option.
Really for Watch Commander more so than...
Mostly for Watch Commander, and I think you'd consider then maybe
Levy would be an option.
Maybe Stoic Gunso, maybe Levy. Like the problem is that
Levy and Watch Commander are both 3 influence there, so...
Yeah.
So a Stoic
Gunso... Watch Commander is just better.
Cost 1.
So.
Mountain doesn't fall as good as well, but again, if you're doing this with Scorpion, you're probably going, do I have the extra basically bunch of 3? You don't really have that much influence to splash. Realistically, you've got 10 in this deck. And if you're doing Dishonor stuff, you'll go for Watch Commander. And that'll be 9.
But
and
for
then cool.
For the style that we're looking for, which is largely apply pressure with the Dishonor, but basically try go the beatdown. The Watch Commander, Room Ambusher, Stoic Gunso options that are there are quite good, and Reprieve is just a fantastic card regardless. This might be one that we examine a little bit more into some detail afterwards, because I think for the deck we're building, it has some good options.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Dragon.
All right.
Where to even begin?
Yeah.
Okay, there's the 2 obvious ones, right? And then there's everything else. Like
only 2 obvious ones. I think there are 3 super strong.
3 strong options, but there's like 2 that your eye will be drawn inexorably towards. There's Tattooed Wanderer, which is excellent. Sorry, Ancestral Dice Show. Sorry, Ancestral Dice Show, good, solid. Brad's favorite card to splash.
Yeah,
Brad's favorite card to splash. That madman.
Yeah, solid. But, I don't think we're playing Tree Fine Katana yet, so I wouldn't go to them.
Yeah, so we're not playing one Ancestral Dice Show.
And maybe we should. Do we want to go through all of them?
Yeah. I mean, we can. There's Ancestral Dice Show, which is just Daimyo's Favor is not for this deck. Indomitable Will is also, it's fine. It can be devastating on Shoju. Shoju just single-handedly romps around.
Characters aren't big
dropping elbows on everybody. Yeah, it's basic. They have. It just doesn't make the cut when compared to the other Dragon options. Kitsuki's method is in the same kind of basket as the Dice Show. Let Go is the first super powerful card.
Yeah.
So it is the go-to attachment control card in the environment. 0 cost event that just destroys an attachment. 2 influence. You just can't go wrong with this card. Attachments are in every single deck.
So the big dangerous ones to be aware of are Cloud the Mind, the Phoenix Pacifism. Probably not going to affect this deck as much.
Watch Commander.
All of the decks have some big power card. Like Watch Commander is one.
Sashimono,
God.
Dragon actually have one in there themselves. Togashi Kazue, or even the Tattooed Wanderer, and Spyglass. Yeah, good God.
Just kill on sight.
Now, one of the things is this deck already does have calling in favors, so there is a little bit of control already in there. Whether it's enough or not, I don't know.
Let Go is so much cheaper than calling in favors.
Yeah.
It is infinitely cheaper. So that
calling in favors can be hugely powerful, though. I mean, if you are stealing something like a Sashimono or a Spyglass, the turnaround is so much more powerful. Spyglass particularly. If somebody plays a Spyglass and you steal it from them, that's it. I mean, it hasn't happened to me, but that has got to be one of the worst feelings.
Okay, Mantra of Fire, not for this deck.
Not for this deck.
Muramoto's Fury for every deck.
Premier defensive. the premier defensive action in the game at the moment. So it's a 1 fate cost event that bows a personality with glory less than or equal to the number of unrevealed provinces you control, which will be 4 at the very start. It'll be not nearly as many as that. It'll drop during the game, but most personalities have a glory of 1 or 2. So until they've flipped 3 of your provinces, probably 4 provinces.
Yeah, essentially, this will always work. There will never be any situation where this will not work.
Yes.
Except against Phoenix. Phoenix can mess up Miramoto's Fury pretty badly, but yeah, it is hands down the best defensive action in the game.
Now it does cost the fate, but you're essentially neutralizing an opponent's character for an entire turn.
Yeah.
And you're probably costing them a conflict. You're costing them a conflict, a ring, a bowed character. The card's just incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
It's the reason why Ready for Battle is so good out of Lion, because Miramoto's Fury is even better. So Tattooed Wanderer is the next one. So that is a 1 cost 2/1 character, conflict character that you can attach to one of your characters, and it gives the attached character covert. And obviously covert is insanely powerful, and this guy is completely affordable. So he is very well worth considering a splash. If the deck is going to go in a direction where Spies at Court if Court is something the deck wants to do, Tattooed Wanderer is a fantastic addition because it gives you so much more control over how your opponent defends, thereby almost, more or less almost guaranteeing that you're going to be winning the political conflict for a minimum of effort. Again, assuming you're on the attack and not on the defense.
Yeah, and a bit of a secret bit of knowledge from the dragon here. Many people don't realize that the Tattooed Wanderer is actually a 2 military character as well. It is ridiculous how often that is useful, because that is a fantastic stat. Like if it didn't do anything else, it would still be wonderful.
Yeah, 2/1 for 1.
Yep.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's very, very good. So that's the other really, really big card. Then you've got Tagashi Kazue, who's a 3/3 for 3 and allows you to steal fate from opposing characters during a conflict. So basically, you move a fate from one of their characters onto the character to whom Tagashi Kazue is attached.
I'm getting a lot of movement with Dragon with that, but it is a horrendously dangerous card to play. Like if that ever gets calling in favors, I'm just going to flip the table.
Yeah, and then you've got Tranquility, which is probably the worst card in the game. So you can just forget about it.
If we look at those 3 power cards you're looking at Let Go, Miramoto's Fury, and Tattooed Wanderer. Dragon uniformly are 2 influence across the board, which is super weird, but I love it. So you get to pick 5.
It's all about balance.
Yeah. Okay. Lion.
For Greater Glory is not an option.
No, we don't have enough Bushi.
Nope. Guidance of the Ancestors. It's no.
Nah.
Honored Blade. I don't think so.
No.
Well, I mean, it's 1 cost for two military, and it gets you honor. It's not really doing what we want him to do. Master of the Spear was universally panned from the get-go, and is beginning to get a little bit more traction. Again, it's a case where 3 costs is just really difficult, but the ability is pretty decent on it, but it is not for this deck. Ready for Battle is a highly reactive card. But
it's amazing.
It is very good. So because it's only 1 influence, if you're going to do this, you're probably going to look at 3 of them anyway, because it's super cheap. Sashimono is really good. Shoju and Yunaku. That's it though.
Yeah. No.
I think so. Yeah. Just too limited in application for this deck.
Yeah. Stand your ground when an honored character you would control would leave play instead discard a status card token. No, you're not really honoring it.
Unless that said dishonored, it's not quite what we need.
Strength in numbers now is a really good option. It is sent home, so it's kind of equivalent to Outwit or the other one. But yeah, while you already Right, yes. While you are the attacking player, choose a defending character with glory X or lower, move that character home. X equals number of attacking characters. Like, if you've just got one attacking character, you are able to send someone with glory 1 or 0 home. It is another way to win an attack and remove all of their defenders. So it does have the same problems as Outwit does, and the same advantages Outwit does. It's essentially a stand-in for Outwit. So
yeah, it's a better send home action.
Yeah, but you're limited in how you can. So it's only attack rather than requiring stuff.
Yes,
and then the last one is Vengeful Oathkeeper, 2-cost, 2/1, who can come into play if you lose a military conflict. I have to admit I'm not sold on this guy, mostly because if I've lost a military conflict, there's only one military conflict at best left for this guy to do anything in. So I mean, you can see ready for battle and strength in numbers are, I think, are the only options there.
Yeah, probably not enough reason for Scorpion to.
No,
it's not for
I don't
you.
think so.
It's not for you. Okay, Phoenix. Justin, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so hang on, I'm just waiting for the stream to catch up so I can look at all.
Okay, we've got Against the Waves first.
Okay, so Against the Waves has some use in. I mean, you've got 9 Shugenja, so it's not completely useless. But your Shugenja just aren't your heavy hitters. They're not doing anything spectacular, so it's not going to be great. Display of Power is a massive card. You've got inbuilt counterspell protection. You're playing Forged Edicts of your own, so you can counterspell their counterspells if they're playing counters of their own. And Display has, again, in play testing, shown to be immensely powerful when it goes off. Like, it's a little situational, but it's not really that situational at all. And it can completely break a game. You have games where your opponent attacks with their champion, they bump into meditations, and you display their Ring of Void, and all of a sudden their champion's off the table in a single turn. It's huge. It's super, super powerful and well worth considering, because the tempo switches it can create on the board are really they can be backbreaking. So anyway, Grasp of Earth, just no, not right now. Movement is going to get. I mean, movement and bringing and conflict characters are probably going to become a much bigger thing because it's a design space that they can explore and move into. But not right now. There's just not enough of it being seen. Yep. Ishikin Initiate is a terrible card and should never be played by anybody. Know the World is a terrible card and should never be played by anybody. Magnificent Kimono is a fantastic card and should be played by a lot more people. It's okay, so it's a 0-cost attachment, gives you +1 politics, which you're already good at, but it honors your personality and response. Now, it's not going to be great for Scorpion because you don't have mechanics that reward you for having honored guys. So I don't think I'd recommend it for Scorpion. It's jaw dropping out of Phoenix though when it does so much. Pacifism, kind of interesting card. Scorpion are not hugely military focused, so pacifism can actually do an awful lot of work for you.
Yeah.
In terms of removing a significant military threat from the board. As I said, there are a few better feelings in the world than slapping a pacifism down on an Akodo Toturi or a Hida Kasada when they're not playing Dragon. And just taking a huge character out of the game. It's also very, very good for setting up unopposed military conflicts. As second conflict, you attack his politics first. You're exchanging conflicts, and then for the final conflicts, you just pacify their guy and go over military and take something unopposed. So it can be very, very powerful in that regard. Seeker of Knowledge is not great either. It's just pretty poor card. I've been hugely underwhelmed by it every time I've played it, and it's finally gone. And Supernatural Storm is just not going to be good enough. It's just about playable, I think, at the moment in Phoenix. I mean, it's okay. It'll be completely bananas very, very soon. But it's just not there. So the main cards you're getting out of Phoenix would be Display of Power, Magnificent Kimono maybe, and Pacifism.
No, Magnificent Kimono just doesn't cut it.
No.
Yeah, it probably doesn't do anything. But so really, there just aren't enough cards here, to be honest. You could go with.
You could take 2 Display of Power, 2 Pacifism.
2 Pacifism, that would be the splash. If I was taking anything out of Phoenix, that would be the splash.
Yeah.
But as to whether that adds enough to your deck, don't know. I still think Crab might be slightly ahead, but this could warrant testing.
Yeah.
And obviously,
Okay.
drag are just super good. So,
And are we safe in riding off unicorn at this point?
Oh,
Given
no,
the...
no, 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 no.
No,
So
no,
go
no.
in and have a look at unicorn.
yeah,
Okay.
you'll be kind of surprised.
So
Okay,
there's a couple of ones that you can skip through
there's a
straight
bunch
away.
of, so Born in War, Cavalry only,
Right out.
Breakthrough.
Is a bad card.
It's a terrible card right now. Yeah,
Captive
Captive
Audience,
Not
not
what
great
you
for
want.
Scorpion.
need to keep on going down. The
Cavalry
list.
Reserves, not so
Cavalry
good.
reserves.
No,
Yeah.
you're not going to have the cavalry in your discard
It's a
pile.
better ambush. It's a better ambush.
Give a character
Oh,
Cavalry
okay.
so you can use Cavalry Reserves.
Yeah. Okay, so we
Uh,
get onto the first good card, which is favored mount.
Yeah, I like this card a lot. I've been playing in the Dragon deck, which it probably has a little bit more synergy with because it's an attachment and it combos really, really well with the Miramoto Prodigy. But
which card?
one of the things, the favored mount.
I see. Sorry.
So the 1 cost, 1 military, and it gives you cavalry, I guess, if you care. But yeah, during a conflict, you can buy the attachment and move the attached character in. One of my favorite uses for it is to move in Miramoto Retsugu, even though he's bowed, to get a few jewels off. So it lets you get your guys in when you need to. It's a really good card.
Great on Shoju
Yep.
as well.
Yes. Yeah. Showed you suddenly appearing, bowed but ready to lay the smack on some low political skill fools will certainly ruin someone's day.
Yeah. Okay. I'm ready. Not.
Unicorn only.
Yeah. Eat a messenger.
Not terrible, I would say, but probably not for this deck, right?
Spend one fate to move someone essentially with the one.
Yeah, it's more maneuverability, but I don't think you need it. The fact that it's a courtier makes it kind of nice, but no, not this one.
No.
The next one is interesting though.
Uchi Wayfinder? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You look at okay. You can look at your
Yeah,
opponents.
not walking into someone's
Yeah.
walking into someone's shameful display is worth the price of admission. And then Spyglass is the final card, and Spyglass is amazing.
Yeah. After a character commits to a conflict or
So-
moves to a conflict, draw a card.
Lots and lots of card draw. So the question with Spyglass is, will you be? Well, I mean, the chances are you could be drawing a number of cards already. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. So the cards to be playing out of this would be Favored Mount, Spyglass, and maybe Uchi Wayfinder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And-
the question is, does that do enough? And honestly, out of all the things we've seen so far, I would just say Dragon is the best splash.
So that's a point. I don't think you're right with that. I think
Okay.
Controversial.
It's on.
I think in a clean, simple world, you would actually go with Crab because Crab kind of plays more into actually breaking provinces and doing things. The reason Dragon is so good is because Let Go is really strong. I do think Miramoto's Fury is a really strong card, but I think Let Go is a incredibly important metagame reaction because there's a lot of really good attachments out there that you need to be able to deal with. I mean, if this wasn't going down to military, I'd be very tempted to go into that Phoenix display of power option, and I certainly like the idea of pacifism in this deck. But yeah, I honestly do think that the splash part largely is going to be how the meta is going to rotate. That depending on what other people are splashing is going to really inform your choice over what you should be putting in. So I don't think it's a clean one. Now I will admit that the Dragon one is very simple and very clean, and it's probably your best starting point for most decks because it is going to get a lot of work done. So I'm agreeing but disagreeing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing to test. I mean, and a relatively straightforward aspect of the deck to play around with.
Yeah. Well, I think like taking a look at the splashes, I think you've got 3 viable clans to pick from. I think you've got Crab, Dragon, and Phoenix are all worth testing out to see what they do for you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't scratch Unicorn yet. Like I think there could be some work done with the Unicorn deck. It's just the combination of getting that hand lock and Spyglass. I know again Dragon is a different beast, but I'm bidding one a lot and I'm using Spyglass a ridiculous amount. Like if you can get 2 spyglasses and 1 favored mount down, you're attacking, drawing 2 cards, and then you're moving them in so you can draw another 2 cards. So you're drawing 5 cards a turn, and your opponent's still stuck on 1. That's incredible. Like it is really, really strong.
Okay, so let's roll with Dragon as our for the time being. Would you go 2 Let Go, 2 Mirror Mode of Fury, 2 Tattooed Wanderer, or would you be tempted to?
I would.
I go 3 Fury, right?
3 Fury. Yeah.
And then
2 Let Go.
so that's okay. Okay, sorry, that maths works out.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're looking
How's the
at
hard part?
Yeah. So what
we
are we,
need
47?
to lose 8 cards.
I feel like you're heavy on attachments, but maybe I'm completely off there again.
Yeah, well, I mean, Court Mask is just super good. So you could potentially lose the Ornate Fans and just count Court Mask as taking their place. I mean, it's rare that you'll want to play more than that number of attachments anyway. Oh, sorry, that number of political skill boosting attachments.
Someone's got phone noise coming through their mic.
Yeah.
Looks like it was Andy.
Is it me? Oh shit!
I don't know.
Okay, so
Although I'm
Threw the phones away.
Yeah,
We're quickly.
smash our phones. So I've cut the fans and katanas reluctantly.
I'm not sure if I cut the katanas.
Yeah.
Really?
Because they do give you military skill. I mean, I consider putting the 2 katanas back in.
Okay, the 2 katanas are back in.
Also, you've managed to include 14 points worth of influence with 2 Tattooed Wanderers, 3 Fury, and 2 Let Go. So even
the keeper of air wouldn't allow that.
No.
So you can instantly cut 2 more cards there.
So sorry, where
Tattooed Wanderer should go.
I'd say we will cut.
Right.
You didn't remove him there.
No, I did.
Did you? Okay,
No.
sorry. I'm behind on the stream.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I think maybe if you cut the Let Goes and if you cut the Calling in Favors, that would free up a lot of space.
I wouldn't cut the what?
Dragon.
No, Baz. Bad Baz.
Word of shot.
Yeah.
Is this where Spies of Court gets cut?
Go.
No, I'm not sure actually. I think I would cut the Cloud the Mines before I'd cut the Spies.
They're so
actually.
good. They're so good.
I know, they are really good. They are really good.
You could cut 2 Cloud the Mind, go to 2 Court Mask, and 2 Outwit to start with, and see how that treats you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be the option.
Sorry, say that again. 2
So,
Outwit and 2.
Cut 2 Cloud the Mind. Cloud the Mind is 0.
Yeah.
Then take Court Mask down to a 2 of. And take out to a 2 of.
Yeah, done that. That takes us to 40.
Yeah.
How do we feel about that City of Lies?
Not a fan.
Does it actually do anything?
Yeah.
Calling in Favors?
It is
Mirror
paying
Fury.
for Mirror Fury, Outwit, Calling in Favors. That's what it's paying for.
Yeah, so
It's not
probably
good enough. Gets out.
not good enough then.
Gets
I would
cut.
say.
Yeah.
I would consider maybe a Maya, so you go up to 10 Shiganja.
What else is there? A
But-
favorable ground
you-
or
Shigenja doesn't matter. You're not playing any cards that require Shigenja support.
yeah, we've ditched Cred the Mind.
And we've got a ton
Actually,
of attachment destruction.
probably the card I would have cut. I probably would have cut 1 Calling in Favor. So you've got 2 Calling in Favors, 2 Let Go, and that allows you to push up another card again. Maybe push the Court Mask back to 3. Like five cards for controlling attachments seems a little excessive.
So 2 calling in favors, and then court mask up to 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
so.
given that we ditched the fans for the court mask, means you probably want to keep 3 of the.
Yeah, I think so.
So then we've got 1 slot for our Dynasty. It doesn't seem to be much of an argument for Mystic, given we've got Dragon for Let Go. We've cut Cloud the Mind. So what else we've got? I mean, one favourable ground is an awful. Cut the Yogo Outcast now.
Yeah, so John is saying we cut the Yogo Outcast now because we have no spells. So, do we find 2 more slots to put the 2 Cloud the Mind back in and spike John?
I think dropping the 2 Fine Katanas and replacing them with the Cloud of Minds would be probably better. I know it's free to military, which is really good, but the Cloud of Mind just deals with problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea of trying to get Cloud the Mind in, so I'm gonna pop in a Mia Mystic. 2 Cloud the Mind, and then
we have to cut 2 more cards. I suppose you've got Banzai's, so
you think the katanas are
maybe in that case maybe cut 1 Outwit and 1 Fine Katana, and that would open up the slots for.
Down to single Outwit?
1 fine? And a single
absolutely.
Fine Katana? No, that's madness. That's madness.
No, and once again, I have to say, as like Stone didn't teach me a lot, I got to say, but one of the things it did teach me is that 1-obs are completely viable as a deck construction option.
Explain that to me, because you get through about half your deck in a game.
Yeah, I mean. That's okay, which is I understand the standard arguments, but what you're looking for is you're looking to establish as much redundancy. Well, as I say, redundancy. You're looking to establish a spread of cards that achieve a specific thing. Now, at the moment, we've got 3 court masks, which do give you +1 military, and.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, +1.
No. I'm laughing because John said we should probably consider how we win at this stage.
It's military. It's the only way you can do it is like crushing provinces, right?
No, it's not.
No.
Again, one of the things certainly that this applies only to my personal experience, but it's a board control game. Through and through, this is a board control game. It's about winning. It's winning conflicts, exerting control over your opponent's hand and their board, and basically grinding the game out. Certain clans like Crane don't have to do that, but they can. Certain clans like Crane can just blitz you. They can do that, but other clans, like if you're playing like a value game, then.
You're spot on. You just chip away at the minor advantages and keep building it up. And like you dishonor this guy, you assassinate that guy, you for shame here, you let go there. Yeah, it's just slowly working at the board.
And you build advantage through your stronghold ability by overbidding, getting you more cards, and you recoup that over turns and turns and turns. And I mean, but having a 1-of in the deck is perfectly fine. So rather than looking at it, I think it's wrong to look at it as like a single title of a card and that achieves a specific purpose. You have several cards across the deck that achieve a specific purpose. In this case, you've got 3 Banzai, 3 Court Mask, and 1 Fine Katana. You have 7 cards that give you a military bonus. And you're not including Fine Katana as a Fine Katana. It's just there as a military bonus card.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, even like
that argument makes
sense.
Yeah,
so that's basically the argument. I mean, like if there's something better or more focused that you could put in, then sure, absolutely. But it's a block of cards.
So I decided to cut spies, of course, based on all that.
Okay.
But that was the key part of the deck. Everything was based around spies.
Yeah, that was our win condition, right?
Anyway,
all right,
it's got us there, and we can see we play some games and see how it looks. Whew. So we thought that would be a nice short game.
Yeah, 2 hours later.
Just coming up on 2 hours. Yeah. But I think certainly for anyone building a Scorpion deck, There's a lot of valuable discussion.
Don't do it like this.
Don't do it as a horse by committee with 5 people all offering different opinions.
But
This
you
is
want,
what we've learned.
Your angel and your devil, one on each shoulder, as we have here for you, Colm. And then also, a Modron and an Ugoloth. That's the 5 of us.
I wish I knew what those last 2 were referring to, but I'm sort of in the dark there. I think I should feel insulted.
only if you're the Modron, I think. The Ugoloths are held in quite good esteem, as I recall.
Well, then that's probably you.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind. Planescape references, right, Owen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see.
Well, no, I think this should give some reassurance to people who are putting together their first deck and are struggling at it, because after watching what we've done with it, they've realized that it's not just them; it's all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll probably even just change that before even bringing it into battle, just because you invariably start having second guessing it and changing your mind.
But it's important. As in Justin's article, it's important to run this deck through a bunch of games before you ever make any judgment on it.
Absolutely.
It's a starting point. Like, that's basically it's a starting point. You'll find out what you enjoy about the deck, what you don't enjoy about the deck, where you think it's weak, what it's maybe too good at, and you can just kind of, you can change it around, switch it around, and as I said, it's a point to start.
Yeah. All right. I think we'll wrap it up there then.
Just one more thing.
Yeah.
Very important.
Interestingly, beaver lips are found behind their teeth.
Behind their teeth?
That is interesting.
That's ridiculous. Beavers get more and more interesting.
Wait, are these beaver facts or beaver made up lies?
No, the lips close behind its front teeth, allowing it to carry a branch in its mouth without drowning.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Seems messed up.
I think we may have gone too far.
Yeah.
I'm really short on beaver facts, and if anyone could recommend me a good textbook on beavers, I'll start getting into the real deep insights of beavers.
Oh dear.
I think we're going to have to start making shit up about beavers pretty soon.
Yeah. But I mean, we've won
I
such
thought we
confidence.
already were.
Oh, if somebody could bring a beaver onto the show, then that would be...
We have like a mascot.
Unethical. I know we were discussing our complete lack of ethics earlier, but that might be too far.
Yeah.
Beavers make great pets. That's another beaver fact.
I nominate Andy to be the beaver handler. Of the show.
Okay. I dutifully accept this responsibility.
As Andy starts finding out how to raid Berlin Zoo.
All right, so we'll wrap it up there. Thanks. There's loads of people for listening and for chipping in, for John and
Actually,
Dave.
What we should totally do next time is take this deck and play it.
Yeah.
And then we can all basically see what a bunch of idiots we've been.
Yeah. How we forgot to, to include a win condition. Just lots of fun cards that don't actually do anything.
No, I'm telling you, like as I've been playing Phoenix for a long time now, you don't need a win condition. You just need to last longer than your opponent. That's all you got to do.
You just need to destroy your opponent's win condition.
Not everyone's as lucky as you are, Justin.
Well, this is very true.
All right. Night, guys. Bye-bye.
Nice.
Okay, take it easy, everybody.
See you now.